Afternoon, everybody. How's it going? Well, I was going to tear this apart today, but before I do that, I want to get some data on this ProMac 850. I really like these Macs. They're interesting. They're very strange how they did their porting, their shapes of their ports. I really want to learn what the deal is with these. I want to get proficient at porting them. There's a different set of rules for Macs than regular saws. So I piped this saw. I want to run it a little bit with the pipe on it and kind of see how it's going to run and get some data. I put my tack on here. I'll yell the readings out to you guys. I want to see what kind of speed this thing cuts at and kind of extrapolate from there where I want to go. I don't want to move the exhaust roof too high if it's already cutting at a decent speed. It sounds fast, but whether it is or not, I don't know. Yeah, and then we're going to tear this thing apart. I want to get some good data on it. I can't run this thing too much. I'll show you guys right here. So the air comes over the flywheel and through the fins. I don't have the cover on because the exhaust pipe blocks it. I'm going to build a new cover. I kind of got some ideas in my head of how I'm going to do that. And we'll work on that. There's a bolt hole here and there's one here. We're going to have to make something. And if push comes to shove, I'll put another bolt hole on the pipe. We just want to block this, but I'm going to run this thing a little bit. I won't let it get too hot. I may shut it down in between cuts and let it cool. So without further ado, there's our tack. You guys are asking what this is. 328 Easy Tack Plus. I'm still kind of here nor there on this tack. The wireless feature seems to be messing up on this thing, and maybe it needs a new battery, I don't know, but I've been hardwiring everything. Anyhow, friends, I'll get you in nice and close here, and let's warm this thing up and do some cuts with it and see what it's going to do. I don't know if I already said, this is oak. This is 2-year-old seasoned oak. It's hard as a rock. It's what we got, so we're going to run it. And let's enjoy this power saw before we rip it down. I'm going to write down notes in my book and get some good data. Gonna let it cool down. That cut there, 10-3. So this thing's pulling 10-3 in the cut. That's fast for an old saw. Ragged edge of lean. That's how Buckin runs his saw, so I'm gonna run him the same way he does. We're gonna let this cool down. Right now, friends, I'm telling you, this pipe, I can feel it. This thing's pulling harder. I think I might have to double down and make another one, and I'll mail it to Buckin and he can bolt it on one of his saws. I'll have to make another heat shield here too, though. But so far, this works. We'll have a look at the spark plug after. This is what saw building's all about for me, testing theories. I'm more of a science-based builder where if I have a theory, I'm going to prove or disprove it. I don't care if it works or not. I mean, it's nice when your theories work out. All I care about is getting good data and then going, okay, that works, or no, that doesn't work. And then why doesn't it work? This pipe is wide open and it's huge. This thing's running just fine. We're getting rid of heat and it seems to pull harder. Now, we can talk about why it pulls harder. It pulls harder because of a theory I have. We're going to talk about that when I take the saw apart, but let's fire this thing up again and make a few more cuts. I hope it rains here soon because, like I said, we're running out of wood to cut and it would be nice to get some better stuff. So 10-3 in the cut right there. I'm going to give her a little more fuel for this last cut and let's see what kind of RPM it pulls. Turn my tack back on. Look at the throttle response. I really like this pipe, and it took an afternoon to build it and very tight tolerances, but you know what, friends, it works. I'm going to say this pipe is a success with no dampering in it. Let's go over to the other pile and maybe I can find something else that we can cut into. I gotta let the saw cool down, but I can't take this thing apart yet. I gotta check this pipe out more. I'll meet you guys over at the other wood pile. Got some rock hard maple right here. Clean a little bit of the dirt off. Okay, let's see what this thing will do in some maple. I'm only going to make a cut or two. Again, I don't want to overheat this thing. Friends, this is a completely different saw now. It was just a guess. Buckin's the Mac man, right? A lot of these ideas we come up together, together in the morning over coffee. And, he put a little bug in my ear. What could you do with a Mac pipe? I think they need to breathe. I got to give credit where credit's due, friends. The man is not a saw porter, but he understands what a saw is doing when he runs it, okay? It's very rare that somebody who doesn't build saws is that in tune. And he said, what can you do with a Mac pipe? And I thought, well, that's going to be tough. I'll do it, And this saw is completely different now. It pulls. It felt like it was gasping for air before, but now I would run this just the way it is, stock. It's got crack and it's got pull. It revs up smoothly and quickly. And friends, this stuff is hard. You hear that? Even our cottonwood here, when it dries out, it gets really hard. Let's do another cut. This is fun. I'm all fired up. That's good stuff, friends. Let's go in the shop, talk about this. Okay, now while the saw's cooling down, this is an out-of-the-box Oregon EXL that I was cutting with. It cut okay, but it can be sharper. I notice sometimes that chains, they're really good, and then you get some that aren't quite as good. This one can be better. So yeah, I put a raker gauge on there, and I'm just gonna scuff this up. Just a hair. I'm gonna get that gullet. There, now she's sharp. There's sharp, and then there's ooh my. We want ooh my when we're testing. This isn't the best bar either. This bar's got a lot of miles on it. Again, we can't let the saw get too hot. This is interesting stuff, isn't it, guys? Chain definitely cuts better now. We ran out of oak, but we got what we needed out of this test. Again, saw restarts nice. Gonna make a liar out of me. Okay, we are hiding away in the sanctity of the power saw shop. It is 34 degrees Celsius, 60% humidity. A little sticky out again, friends. Interesting. I'm just looking at the spark plug. It is starting to turn brown on the electrode. That is a good sign. We don't have enough of a plug reading right now to fully know what the deal is. Here, I'll show you guys. Let's all learn and see what the deal is together, okay? You guys see it's turning brown on there. Now, remember, I can't run this saw much right now. The air comes through here, okay? Right? So the air gets drawn in through here, through the recoil, and then this way and out, okay? It's missing part of the heat shield on the back right now and the bottom, and so I could feel air coming back at me when I'm running the saw right now. So I got to be careful not to pop this saw while I'm playing with it. So it is in my best interest to quit while I'm ahead right now. I've put some hours on the saw, or time. I'm really, really happy with this pipe. The saw's got more snap and it's got more pull. I would be happy, and I'm telling you this right now, I would be happy running this saw the way it is. Now, I haven't buried this with a 32 on it in anything big, but I think it would do it. If a saw pulls hard in oak like that, you could tell a lot about the saw. Not super happy with this chain. That's an off-the-roll EXL. I did scrub it a little at the end, and you guys saw me sharpening it there. It's better now, but it is what it is. Sometimes you get a chain off the roll that's not the best. That stuff used to cut like fire, and now sometimes it's not the best. So we got to do some hot rod stuff here. Being a sheet metal worker, I got to make some sheet metal covers. I at least got to get the back of this sealed up, and then underneath here, it's just empty. So I'm going to have to make a secondary heat shield that goes underneath here and ties in. That's going to be quite a bit of work. I already, though, have an idea of how I can do that. Again, friends, I'm just learning and growing. I've never run one of these. I've never worked on it. You guys know the deal. And that's why this will never be a high production shop. I'm more of a hot rodder than anything, friends. I just like to make things go fast. And little things like making sheet metal covers and that could take weeks of prototyping, cutting out cardboard templates, fitting it, and then testing it to see if the saw's still cool. So that's the kind of stuff I'm into. That's why I would rather do super low volume, super old school saws like this, because that's what I enjoy, than just, you know, pound out saw after saw after saw. So anyhow, friends, I'm still thinking, what am I going to do with this saw? We could go many routes with this. I could raise the exhaust roof sky high. I could jack the compression up, which would involve machining the cylinder. Friends, I have done that before. So it does work. It does take a lot of work and fitting. And if you have a lathe and or a mill, you can do it. It takes some work though. So be aware. And also, here's what I'm learning. These Macs have very short intake timing, but they have very wide intakes. If you start dropping the cylinders on these, you're adding a lot of intake timing. You got to be careful. Macs do not seem to tolerate intake timing like a regular saw. So that's what I know about them. Other than that, though, the sky's the limit. I'm going to take my time on this. I want this saw to run with modern saws. I don't know if that's possible, but we're going to give her a go. This pipe is definitely going to help us achieve that. I don't care what it looks like, it works, and I can feel it. So, also, I think this is helping bleeding air or heat off. Think about it, friends. This pipe stock comes up and around, and right here. As that air comes through, it hits this pipe. Okay, I think this is going to only help it breathe air. If we leave this whole side of the cylinder open and just put a piece of sheet metal along the back, it's going to blow air over the pipe. And I think this thing should run a little cooler. The proof will be in the pudding though, right? Anyhow, guys, thanks for coming along. I felt like running this saw some more today, and it's like, well, let's give her a go with this weirdo pipe that we built. I like it. Thanks for watching. Take her easy. Later, guys.